Now, I appreciate, obviously, there's lots of people in the room that are perhaps not leaders, but I think you all know a leader, or you will have experienced ones at some point in your life. So if it's not necessarily your position, please think about somebody that has really stood out in your mind if you were going to answer one of these questions. So who, and I don't want any names, so please don't put your names on here, or the names of any of the leaders that you're talking about. So think about a behaviour that somebody has modelled well, something that perhaps if you were a leader you would really wish to do well. And then if you do have something, then also a behaviour that maybe you've seen or that you know would make you feel very uncomfortable as a leader. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Just what's one of the key things that behaviour is going to have on your community? Has anybody got anything they would like to share?
Everyone in the community will know where to go if they have a concern.
Yeah, perfect.
And that stance of concern will be emulated by the community as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. So is it a reflection of the behaviour? So the community then reflect the behaviour that the leader has exhibited? Is that kind of what we say? Yeah? Okay, wonderful. Yes, exactly. It is likely. Remember what I said? People take notice of what leaders do far more than what they say. So it is that importance of making sure as a leader that you are emulating how you would like others to behave within your environment as well. I've just read through a few of the other ones, and there's one that's coming out really clearly for the second bullet point there. The second bullet point on your sheets, which was the safeguarding behaviour that you would intend. And there's a lot here that are saying that I would like to think that I would listen to other people's points of view. So that's one that's coming out a lot, about listening to other people. And there's a lovely phrase here that says 2 ears and 1 mouth. Okay? So I'd not heard that before. So what impact do you think that behaviour is likely to have on the community? And how might others interpret that behaviour? So just a couple of minutes to think about that one there. So listening more. So if you were a leader, you would intend to listen. So again, can you give me just have a couple of minutes in your groups to think about what impact that might have, and also for the second bullet point as well, how might others interpret that behaviour? Okay. So again, what impact will that have on your community if you model that you are going to listen? How would that make others feel?
Things for others as well, that when we're moved away from all the activities that we once had, like hospitals, schools, we've moved in a positive way, a more mature way of living, and that is to be a presence first and foremost.
Yeah.
And that's a God-given gift, that we know how to be a presence, and having that presence helps us then to be present to the person who wishes to speak.
Yeah.
So you're showing an openness to be able to listen attentively.
Yeah.
Until they want you to intervene or talk or explain something.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. Really lovely way of putting things. Absolutely. It's that presence. So if somebody's modelling that for you, it gives you the freedom to feel that you have the time to do that, to be present, and it tells you that that leader feels that that's an important aspect for your community. So you need to be able to feel empowered to have the time in obviously such a pressured environment where things change so much, that actually you have that time to be present and to listen, which was one of those things that came up on the board as I was talking. Okay, so I'm very conscious of time, so I'm just going to tell you some of the things again that came from that final bullet point, and it's written again and again and again, and it's not surprising. One of the behaviours that you or they might avoid because it feels uncomfortable is confrontation and challenge, and that's not surprising, is it? What did I say? You know, I talked about the fact that safeguarding can be really uncomfortable, but it's making sure that you again feel empowered to be able to have those difficult conversations on behalf of those people that may have been harmed. I've had some really difficult conversations and sleepless nights, knowing that the next day I've got to have a really difficult conversation. And a colleague of mine just said to me, Sarah, there's no point in worrying about it because you have to do it. You just have to know that you have to do it because it's for the person or the people that you are trying to protect. So don't worry, don't think, can I do it, should I do it, have I got to do it? You know you have. And that should just give you the peace to think, I know I'm doing the right thing. This is going to be really difficult. It's going to be really hard. But you just have to do it. There is no option. That's probably not very helpful, and it didn't help me that much sleeping either. But I do keep that in my mind when I'm questioning whether I've got to have that conversation or not, and I know that I have. But one of the other things here as well is those confrontations or those conversations that leaders have to have when there's been a concern raised and it hasn't met the threshold, so you haven't maybe got that support from statutory authorities, you've maybe not got support from another organisation, because the term itself is challenged, it's a lower level concern, but you know you've still got to address it. And sometimes, I'm going to really contradict myself now, but sometimes that's where your policies do really help, because they will give you the procedure to handle that situation. And again, they're a bit of a comfort blanket, because you go back to your procedure and you read what it says about how do I handle these conversations. And again, you know, that has to be in your mind. I have to do this, but this is the way I do it. I do these small steps, and that's how I have those conversations. And yes, you know, the reaction to that conversation is probably going to be different many times. It's probably going to be anger, sadness, lots of different emotions, and that's where we go back to the presence. And actually, even at that point, just listening and just taking it in. You don't necessarily have to react to their reaction. You just have to listen to it. There's no magic answers, but it doesn't surprise me at all that one of the safeguarding behaviours that you would find very difficult, or a lot of people find difficult, is confrontation. And I think it's good to know that you're not the only people that feel that way.